Okay, for this example we're going to work on solving quadratic equations. So if you watch the other video, you know that you have to ultimately set the quadratic equal to 0. Let's look at this first one here. First thing we want to do is distribute this 2x through. 2x times x will be 2x squared, and 2x times 5 will be 10x. And that will all equal x squared plus x minus 20. Now, what we want to do is we want to have 0 over here on the right. So we want to get rid of all of these things. So we want to subtract x squared, we want to subtract x, and we want to add 20. Okay, so we want to subtract x squared, we want to subtract x, we want to add 20. Subtract x squared, subtract x, add 20. 2x squared minus x squared will be x squared. 10x minus x will be 9x. And plus 20, and notice that we have 0 over here. So that's always our goal, is to have it set equal to 0. Then the next step is to factor. This factor is to be x plus 4, x plus 5, and that's all equal to 0. The only way two things can equal 0 is if they individually equal 0. So x plus 4 equals 0, and x plus 5 equals 0. Now we have to finish solving for x, so here we subtract 4 and we get x is negative 4. And then here we subtract 5 from both sides and we get x is negative 5. And those are our two solutions. Okay, let's look at this one. When we try to set it equal to 0, we can have 0 on either side. So let's pretend we wanted to get 0 on the left side here. So we would subtract 13x from both sides. And that would leave us with 0 equal negative 10x squared minus 13x plus 3. Now this is often difficult for students because of the minus sign in there, and I would actually encourage you to, anytime you have a minus sign, is get rid of it by going to the other side. I'll show you how to do that. It just makes the factorization easier. You can actually just flip-flop the sides, but here, watch this. If you were to add 10x squared, add 13x, and subtract 3, so you're going to get 0 over here. Okay, if you do that on the other side, 10x squared plus 13x minus 3, then that's what you're left with. So notice that up here you have 0 on the left and it's negative, negative, positive. And if you do this, it ends up on the other side as positive, positive, negative. Now, I would always do this if I have a negative number here. It makes the factorization much easier. Okay, now this factors to be 5x minus 1, 2x plus 3. A little bit harder factorization, but there are videos on that. Now, once we have the factorization, we set each individual factor to 0. So 5x minus 1 equals 0, and 2x plus 3 equals 0. Now we have to finish solving, so we're going to add 1 to both sides here, and that tells us 5x equals 1. Then we're going to divide both sides by 5, and we get x is 1/5. Let's move over here. We're going to subtract 3 from both sides, and so 2x equals negative 3. Then we're going to divide both sides by 2, and so we get negative 3/2. And those would be our answers.